Today I'm going to be watching this video. It's called Australian Trucks Make More Sense. So interested to see why that would be. Of course, I've watched a video about the road train before. Very unique, very interesting, especially because there's so many different types of them as well. So yeah, interested to know more about Australian trucks in general. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me if you've ever driven one, been in one. What makes them unique? Let's watch.
If I was to say the words Australian trucking to you, assuming you have any prior knowledge, then most likely you'd be envisioning something like this. Known as a road train, this behemoth of a vehicle is by far the most iconic and internationally recognizable aspect of Australia's trucking industry. However, if you were to leave the desolate outback and make your way to somewhere a bit more populated, you might be surprised to find a vast array of different trucks, or prime movers, from various corners of the globe. On any given street, you can find European brands such as Scania, Volvo, or Iveco, Japanese brands like Mitsubishi, Isuzu, or UD, and American brands like Kenworth, Mack, or Peterbilt. In addition to this, you'll see both conventional and cab-over style truck cabs, both of which are best suited for different purposes. Let's start with the conventional cab, also called a bonneted truck, which is mostly used for longer distance travel and is perfectly suited for road trains. For those of you unfamiliar with road trains, they economically connect remote Australian communities which otherwise have no way of receiving freight, as the Australian rail network mostly hugs the coastlines. There is great need for road trains in Western and Central Australia, as there is essentially no rural transportation infrastructure. Though road trains are legally allowed to operate in the states and territories of Northern Territory, Western Australia, and parts of South Australia, Queensland, and New South Wales. Road trains cover massive distances over rough terrain.
So they're not allowed, is it said that's where they're legally allowed to, is there any reason, just I guess there's no need for them down here, but is there any reason why that little bit is cut off as well?
Over rough terrain, often on unpaved and desolate roads. Kangaroos, cows, and various other animals are a major hazard for drivers in these remote areas. Hence why road train cabs feature thick bull bars on the front. Drivers, affectionately known as truckies, can be out for days to months at a time, so the extra cabin space is greatly appreciated, especially when it's the only refuge from the searing Australian sun. Conventional cabs have greater engine space.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is like, driving a truck in Australia must be quite a unique experience. Maybe only somewhere like the bigger countries like Russia, America. But when you get the weather difference in the different wildlife that you need to be aware of, yeah, it must make driving a truck in Australia like pretty good experience, pretty funny experience. Tell me if you, again, if you've been in that situation, if you did that job, what's it like?
Conventional cabs have greater engine space than their cab-over counterparts, which allows for the installation of some absolutely massive engines, which are more than required to haul these heavy loads. There's great diversity among road train configurations, but for
the size of that thing at the bottom, man, it represents the largest road trains operating in Australia, the world, called Powertrain. How have I not seen this one before, man? I don't think that was mentioned on the previous video. Is that even real? Let's see, a big truck with trailers or plenty, or a crazy looking truck type vehicle with long trailers on the back. So many I've lost count and I've developed a headache. It hurts very bad. Ow, 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 ouch. I need to check out a video about a powertrain. Tell me if you've ever seen one of them in the wild. Even seeing something like that as a British person kind of blows my mind. We don't even have these cabs. That's obviously a very more like American thing. They said it's more for long distance. Maybe we just don't have those long distances in the UK where that's needed. So all in all, yeah, very, very interesting.
For the most part, they have 3 or more trailers in varying sizes. Given the environment of the outback, it's not uncommon for older vehicles to overheat, especially when climbing uphill. While overheating is unfortunate regardless of what kind of truck you drive, sitting on top of an overheating engine can be a little bit dicey and not to mention hot. Conventional cabs are also easier to maintain while in the bush, as accessing the engine is a simple matter of popping the bonnet as opposed to the more laborious process of tilting the whole cab. This is not to say that only conventional cabs are used in road trains. American brand cabovers, which are actually produced in Australia, can be seen from time to time hauling heavy as well. Really, it's up to individual choice, but generally conventional cabs are preferred. Jumping over to the coast, the streets are teeming with cabovers of all sorts. These stubby little warriors maintain the coastal economies where the vast majority of Australians live. Though generally Australian roads tend to be fairly wide, it can be difficult for a conventional cab driver to get around in more populated areas. Cabovers also provide a greater field of view, turning radius, and are often safer for other drivers to be around, as braking distances and agility are priorities. Usually hauling singles or maybe doubles, cabovers are perfectly suited for Australia's denser areas and shorter distance hauls. These cabovers, most of which are from Europe and Japan, are extremely well engineered, able to find the perfect medium between efficiency and safety. People in my comments seem to agree that these European cabovers are quite comfortable and luxurious, often with air ride suspension built into the cab.
Yeah, with regards to comfort, if you have driven any of these ones, like, I mean, seem more comfortable, but I guess most modern ones in both versions would be just as comfortable. Is that the case? Is there any big differences inside the cab of both of them? But yeah, of course, with this type of truck, that's the one I see most commonly in the UK. For all the benefits it brings.
And though it's a matter of personal opinion which cab style is better, comfort plays a huge role in a driver's life. What Australia's trucking industry does better than many areas of the world is simple. They provide you with an option as to what truck you'd like to drive. Though people can argue endlessly about which cab style is better, I think we all can agree that we'd rather have the option to choose for ourselves. Alright, that's all I got for today.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, very interesting, like, concise rundown of the options available. Good that there is both of those options. Again, the powertrain, man, that's like flicked on a light there, man. I need to watch a video about that thing. I don't know if I just fell for a joke there or what, and it might not be true, but if it is, I need to find out more about it. But really cool to see the difference. Again, just based on the Australian geography, definitely both of them are needed for like the long distances, the short distances, and the differences that each of them bring. Cool. Recommend more videos about Australian trucks. Very interesting subject to learn more about. Thanks.